We started the day with a little bit of culture, or at least that's what I told myself before spending the next few hours wandering through Shanghai Museum. The entry is completely free, but you have to show your passport upon entering, so make sure to bring your passport if you plan on visiting. After the museum, we went outside to wait for a Didi because we wanted to go to one of Shanghai's most recommended and craziest restaurants we've ever been to. Welcome to the future. No, just kidding. Welcome to Three Warehouse. Let me be real honest with you guys. I wasn't really expecting much from this restaurant because usually places like these that look super fancy from the outside usually don't have the best food because people honestly just go there to take pictures. But this place was one of the best places we ate in Shanghai. So we started off with some veggies because, fiber. And remember last vlog when I told you guys I don't like anything mango flavored? Well, this has to be the exception because this one was mango pomelo sago and it was so good. I felt like the tartness of the pomelo really cut with the sweetness of the mango, so everything just went together so well. So if you plan on going to Three Warehouse, you have to get this drink. Apparently I have a weak spot for overpriced fancy drinks because I also got a sakura latte with cotton candy. To be honest, I only got this drink because I thought it looked so beautiful, but I don't even like cotton candy. I hate it. But the drink itself was really good. I do love myself a good sakura flavor. Even though we were in Shanghai, I finally got around to trying Peking duck for the first time. The duck was carved right at our table and I was genuinely impressed how quickly the chef worked. Within just a few minutes, the entire duck had been perfectly sliced and plated. It was then served with thin pancakes, fresh vegetables, and sauce, so you could assemble your own little wraps. And I have to say, it was absolutely delicious. I can definitely see why it's such a famous dish. Can we also take a moment to appreciate whatever magic was happening with the lighting in this restaurant? Because I can assure you, my skin does not look like this in real life. I wish it did, but I'm pretty sure it was just the combination of all the lights and reflective surfaces at this place. I know I already mentioned a couple of times that Shanghai has the cutest shops, and this one was not an exception.
Ja, der ist schön. Ja, ich glaube, eigentlich sieht der schön aus. Mach den Zopf doch einfach mal auf.
Nein, das geht nicht, sonst kriegt ihr nicht mehr zusammen.
Oh, echt?
So funktioniert das nicht, Eddie. So funktionieren Zöpfe nicht. Anyways, I would describe the style as very wearable basics, but with cute little details everywhere. Think bows, gingham patterns, colors, and pieces that felt feminine without being overly complicated. The store also had these adorable plushies dressed in matching outfits that fit the aesthetic perfectly. I spent an embarrassing amount of time trying to convince myself that I didn't need one. Unfortunately, my responsible adult brain won the argument, so I left without the blushing. Looking back, that may have been a mistake. At least I picked up the blue headband from the beginning, which was probably the more
Hast du
practical
angegossen?
choice.
Oh ja, das Slate.
After that, we headed over to the new Louis Vuitton ship, mainly because we wanted to check out the cafe. For some reason, we assumed we could just walk in and get a table. As it turns out, that was not the case. And when we tried to make a reservation on the spot, we found out that it was completely booked for the next few months. But luckily, we did have another cafe on our list, which is this alpaca cafe. It's actually just a regular cafe where you can just go in, have a brunch, have your coffee, and there's this alpaca roaming around. His name is Chi Chi, and the owner said that she named him Chi Chi because Chi actually means temper in Chinese, so she thought it's a very fitting name for him. We didn't make a reservation for this place, and also we didn't have to pay any entry fee. I think it was just required to order at least a drink. Taste test. Oh, das ist in so einer Tüte.
Das sind aber viele.
Das sind sehr viele. Oh. Lecker.
Mhm.
Another day, another social media recommendation. But considering how often I had seen this place online, I was genuinely curious whether it will live up to the hype. This time we had a reservation at 2 p.m. for the afternoon tea set. While I came for the food, I have to admit that the view was doing a lot of the heavy lifting. I'm not saying the snacks weren't good, but having the Shanghai skyline right outside the window was definitely a highlight. Since calories don't really count when you're on vacation, we also went out that evening and grabbed ourselves one of Shanghai's famous street foods, which is called Tian Bing. It's basically a crepe which is filled with eggs, lettuce, crispy crackers, cilantro, and the protein of your choice, which is oftentimes pork floss or sausage. This was my first time trying Tian Bing, and honestly, it was so much better than I expected. It had a little bit of everything: crispy, soft, fresh, sweet, and savory, all at the same time, and the textures worked so well together, and every bite was genuinely satisfying. And because it was made fresh on the spot, it tasted absolutely amazing. At this point, I was apparently in my intellectual era because our next stop was the Shanghai Expo. I wasn't entirely sure what to expect, but it turned out to be much more interesting than I had anticipated. Das sind Pfotenabdrücke auf dem Boden. Was? Kriegst die Tasche nicht zu. Clouds Canyon. Dankeschön. One of my favorite areas was this greenhouse filled with orchids, water features, and way more greenery than I was expecting to find in the middle of Shanghai. What surprised me the most was that the water wasn't even blocked off. You could technically just walk right into it if you really wanted to. Ich glaube, es gibt hier Eis am Stiel, nicht in Form von dem botanischen Garten, aber von diesem Kaktuswald, das hatte ich gerade gesehen. Naturally, the thing I was most excited about wasn't the plants. It was the cactus-shaped ice cream. After seeing a whole cactus garden, it only felt right to try the matching souvenir.
Ich sehe, wie abgeknabbert wurde.
We are now on our way to the first ever Christmas market for us here in China, so I'm so excited. I've never been to a Christmas market in China, let alone somewhere outside Germany, so I'm super excited how people make Christmas markets here. Of all the things I expected to find at the Christmas market in Shanghai, a Berlin Döner was definitely not one of them. So of course, we had to give it a try.
Trying kebab from Shanghai for the first time ever.
It was actually pretty good, although if you gave this to me blindfolded, I probably would have called it a chicken wrap rather than a döner.
是你自己，好可爱，这个好棒，好可爱。嗨，拜拜 ，Thank you。
Und?
Das ist einfach ein Hühnchenwrap.
Ja, es schmeckt gut, aber es schmeckt nicht.
The Christmas market charged a small entrance fee, which worked out to be around €3 per person. Included with your ticket was a festive headband, and interestingly, they were just sitting there for people to take. Nobody was counting, nobody was checking, and yet everyone seemed to take just one. I don't know why it surprised me so much, but I thought it was kind of nice. So naturally, yeah, I picked one out for my husband and I. Mine was cuter, of course. So we are now done with the Christmas market, and now we are heading to the Bund to try and getting some ferry tickets for the night view of the Shanghai skyline. So hopefully we can get some tickets because we haven't booked anything or didn't make any reservations, so we will see. Okay, we decided to not take the ferry because actually we can admire the view from this space here. I'm gonna show you guys. This is beautiful, and so there's actually no real need to take the ferry. Besides, I wasn't even sure where to get the tickets anyway, so